Well, we're out again today at our bush settlement, and as you can sort of see, she's a bit wet today after the rains, but anyway, all the low spots are full of water. But there's a nice little old track here. You can see all those trees lining up. I reckon this would have been one of the original tracks through here. You know, you can imagine the old horse and cart trotting along here. And up here there used to be a boat building yard, ship building yard. So, you know, they would have been carting timber and all sorts in here. Now, all out here on the road everywhere, I've just been digging rivets. So, I don't know if you can see them in there, but there's a heap of rivets and washers and stuff. So, that's all I've been finding. And, you know, every signal seems to be a rivet washer or a rivet. But anyway, you got to dig them, they're good signals, and one day you won't dig one and it'll be a silver or something. But I think I showed this in another video, but there's even the, you know, what's left of the old paved roads. So they obviously paved it a bit to combat when it got boggy like this. So, you know, it's all interesting. And I've only ever in this area found rivets except for one penny over here somewhere, probably a bit further out. But anyway, so, you know, there would have been people walking down here and horse and buggies and in the later days trucks and whatnot, old cars and stuff. So you never know what we're going to find. Now, I did a silly thing this morning and forgot to bring my pouch and my pinpointer, so we're doing without them today. I left them out of the car and I didn't remember I hadn't put them in till I got here. You can see some sort of banks running along here, and you know, it's been all disturbed. Whether they built the boats here and then dragged them down to the river, I don't know, but anyway, just poking around, found this one. I don't know what it is, but nearly gonna guess it's some kind of gas fitting out of a lantern or burner of some sort, maybe. Just dropped it. Anyway, some sort of cast thing. Nearly say some kind of gas burner of sorts, but anyway, whatever it is, that was a fairly good signal, so see what else we can find. Well, she's pretty overgrown and whatnot in here, but in here we can see some different sort of trees here, sort of in a circle-y thing. So there's been, you know, people, buildings around here. I would say all the ground's been piled up here and there. But anyway, we've pulled out a good signal here, and we've got this one, which is rather a solid bit of brass knob. You can see the nut bit there, and that is metal iron there. I'd nearly say that is a handle for a like a wheel, winder wheel, maybe. I could be wrong, but sort of what it looks like to me. But say it would have had a bolt through there, and that's the bolt there, but it's sort of expanded with the rust. But anyway, that's sort of my guess. It's off a big old some bit of machinery to wind it shut or open. Anyway, it's a nice chunky brass, so we'll give that a clean when we get home and see how she comes up. Anyway, not sort of something you find every day. Well, up to date, I've really just been digging rubbish, so, you know, haven't really been doing a lot of filming as such, but lovely old yellow gums there. Anyway, had a good signal down here, and we've got this one, which I would normally say is some sort of medallion-y thing, very light aluminium I'd say, and probably not that old. I reckon I can nearly see, or I could see, some kind of saint or something there. So I'll give that a wash in a puddle, because I haven't even got my squirty bottle today, and we'll see what it is if we can. So I'll just walk over to the nearest puddle here and get a bit of dirt off it if we can. Probably won't clean up too well being aluminium, but anyway, I'll get a better idea. Maybe. I'd say it's a more recent sort of drop. Yeah, I think that's all in Latin around there, so anyway, we'll read that a bit better when we get home, but yeah, some kind of medallion of sorts. Anyway, just down here we had a nice little 23, and it's not a washer this time, it is a little button. Still got the shank on the back there, so we're going to give that a wash, and there's our puddle right next to us. And I can already see that that is a Australian military button with the Australia and the crown above it. Australian Military Forces. So that's cool. You know, they're not an uncommon button to find, but you don't always find the smaller ones. I think I've got one a bit smaller than that again, but you know, the little small ones are nice. Normally it's the bigger size you find, but anyway, she rang up really well, and clean her up a bit better when we get back home, but rather cool. And she's still quite intact. So anyway, I'll take that one. It's probably our best find of the day actually so far, but anyway, we'll keep going. Well, I was saying to myself, is this a musket ball or is it a sinker? But I think it's neither. Got a little threaded hole there, so that's a little knob off a... I don't know what it's off exactly, but all sorts of things had them, I think, like out of bathrooms and stuff, just to finish off the little thing with a knob. So, you know, I quite often find those, so apparently they're a pretty common item. Anyway, and we've found his friend. We've got a pair of them. That one's a bit more shiny, so they may even not be that old, but anyway, chrome or something. Anyway, so got two, don't know if there's any more around here. Now, right at the base of this little sapling here, we pulled out that one, which is, if it'll focus for us, a little brooch with a Kookaburra on it. Still got the pinny bits there, so don't know how old it is, but it's brass or something, and it's pretty, still got a bit of shine to it, so I'll give it a wash and we'll see how much more shine we get off it. Really need a brush, but anyway, we'll give it a quick wash and see if we can see anything else on it. I'm guessing it's just going to be pretty plain, but now that is interesting. I can see there 9 carat something. 9 carat. What is it? It's not gold, surely. Maybe it's gold plated. I don't know. 9 carat something. S something line. Hard to see. But it could be silver or something. Anyway, we're going to have to clean it up a bit better. I might turn you off so I've got 2 hands and see if I can clean that up a bit better. Back in a tick. It's a bit of a cloudy old day, so I haven't got any sunlight, but I can get that to focus on here. 9, well, there's a W, I don't know if there's anything else. 9 carat S dot L dot line. So I don't really know what that means. SL line. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of research, but you know, it's interesting that it has got hallmarks there, so it's not exactly a, you know, cheaper-y thing. But anyway, it's got a Kookaburra there, so given the way that has cleaned up, it's, you know, it's not just junk metal. So I'll have to do a bit of research on that one and see what we can find out. Normally 9 carat means gold, but anyway, it might be gold plated or something because it rang up fairly good, so I don't think it's solid gold. In fact, I'm quite sure of it. Anyway, it's an interesting one. Don't even think it's all that old really. It sort of doesn't strike me as being that old, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I'll do a bit of research on that one. Well, we better do one live dig for the afternoon, even though I haven't got a pinpointer, so it could be a bit messy, but sort of a 20, 19, 20, 21, right here. So we've got him out. What is that? Well, that was easy to find. Don't know what it is. It can't be lead because it's ringing up too high. Is that another one of those little knobs, just a bit smaller? I think it could be in there. Anyway, it's not a sinker. It's not a musket ball, I reckon. And I'll have to get a stick or something to dig it out, but I reckon there's a hole there with probably have threads in it. So I reckon that's another one of those little brass knob things, just a bit smaller. Anyway, we'll clean it up and we'll show you in the wrap up anyway. I think we may have finally hit it. Right here. Lovely signal, and I reckon we could just have a little threepence. There we go, sitting on top of there. It's a coat of arms one. 1925. There we go. So George the George the 5th, I believe. Anyway, we won't sort of scrub him out too much. We'll just clean him up when we get home. But so we found a bit of silver after all. So we'll see him in the wrap up when I've given him a bit more of a clean. But maybe I shouldn't be lazy and I should walk over to a puddle here and we'll give him a clean. Might be the only one we find today, so I'll give him the royal clean. in a dirty puddle. I reckon it'll come up pretty nice actually. That's a bit of a finger rub. There we go, 1925. Look at that little beauty. Nice little one, that one. And there we have George VI. Fifth can seem a bit better now. So that is rather nice little coin. In amongst all this scrub, that's where I'm sort of poking around. It's a bit overgrown and such. On this road up here further, I did find a 1870 penny once and a few bibs and bobs. So you know, there's still signals in here. It's sort of a bit overgrown to when I was last here, but anyway, so in amongst it all, we pulled out a lovely silver for the afternoon. Well, I've had a few sort of false signals where you're chasing a whisper of a signal and it doesn't sort of turn into much. But anyway, had a fairly nice signal here, and I've seen that it rather looks like a coin impression, and that rather looks like a coin that's dropped off down there. So, is that a threepence again? I reckon it is. It's too thin for a 1 cent. So, maybe a newer one, looking at the way it's tarnished, but could be wrong. Struggling to see what that is. Well, I'm going to have to give that a clean. I really can't see what that is. And the funny thing is, I don't reckon she's got a milled edge, so that may not be a threepence. Maybe a little copper coin of some sort, which in that case I don't know what on earth it is. So, I'll tell you what, I'll turn you off, I'll give it a clean and we'll be back. Now, I've just got to find where I left my detector in here and in the jungle, and we've cleaned her up, and you can see a Britannia there, which is unusual. It is copper, and on this side I can't see a monarch, but I can see something. It's not a person, I don't believe. Looks more like a lion or a, I don't know, horse or something, but having a Britannia there, it has to be of British origin, or under the British canopy, or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, don't really know. I can't really make out any writing as such. If it was silver, I'd be tending towards a groat or something, but it's definitely copper, so I don't know. So we're going to have to wait till we get home and clean that up and try and decipher something off it and see if we can find out what it is. But anyway, it's an interesting little coin, so we'll have to wait for that one and hopefully we can solve the mystery. Anyway, it's a cool little find, and you know, not something I've found before, I don't think. Well, I've had a sort of a 16 down here. She's come out in a few pieces here, but what are you sitting on? There's some stuff buried under this tree. There we go, a bit quieter. I thought maybe it was a belt buckle, but I'm thinking now it's come out in a few bits. That is half of a pulley, I'd say. Would have been another one of those on the other side, and the rope would have run through the middle of my assume. Unless it is a belt buckle of some sort, but I don't think it is. So I'm gonna actually, on further thought, I know what that is. That's a hinge off a carpenter's ruler. I'm just seeing it now. So there's actually still a bit of wood sandwiched in there, and there would have been, that's the middle hinge, and anyway, you probably know what they look like. So that's what that is, a carpenter's ruler, a hinge off one. Anyway, so, well, out of that hole we got, finally, a little horse buckle, I'd say. One of the little ones. It's actually got a little fancier bit on the end there. Giving them a bit of a scrape there by the looks, but not much. Anyway, it's a bit more of a fancy one than quite often they're just rounded. But anyway, it's a nice little one. So that'll go in the buckle collection. Maybe nearly our last hole for the day. We're sort of going to start heading back, but had a 17 down there. And we have got a complete pocket knife. Still got the loop on it and everything. But, you know, afraid she's a bit far gone for anything. But anyway, someone dropped their knife and they would have been a bit annoyed, I'd say.